Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You know, I was thinking recently with all of these health concerns going on, how great it is that when it comes to the food we eat or the soap we use or any kind of products that we have access to, all of these things come with a warning label. And that got me thinking, how great would it be if you were dating someone or in a relationship with someone and they came with a warning label? So in this video, I'm gonna give you the warning label for each sign of the zodiac. With this information, make sure you check your sun, your moon, your rising, and especially Venus. They will all play a role in this description. And please do me a big favor. Leave in the comment section what you think the warning label for each sign should be. I'd love to get your take on this too. So no more wasting time. Here are the warning labels for each sign of the zodiac. Let's go. All right, let's start off with Pisces. You will never be at a loss for romance when you are in a relationship with a Pisces. They are happiest when they can make your fantasies come to life. If you give them your love and devotion, they will do their best to give you the type of love that we only see in movies. But warning, the emotional highs and lows can be really intense and sometimes exhausting. Pisces are very loving, but they can slip into victim mode really quickly when they feel you're not loving them the way they deserve to be loved, or you don't love them at all because you're judging them or complaining about the way they go about living their life. Then if you try to place any restrictions or boundaries on the relationship for peace of mind, they come back with, "Why are you trying to control me?" So let me give you this bit of advice. If you want the best version of your Pisces, obviously show them love and support. But if there is something that you do have a problem with and you want to address that problem, don't come at them in the form of complaints and rules. Let them know what it is you would like and then ask them if that's something that they're willing to do. Not because their way is wrong, but because it makes you feel more comfortable about the relationship. If they're not willing to do what you're asking them to do, then ask them what are they willing to do, because Pisces is actually very open-minded if they're approached in the right way. But if you come at them in a way that triggers their emotional response, then you're gonna get somebody who's closed-minded, stubborn, and difficult to get along with. But if you come at them the right way, you two can have a conversation about the solution as opposed to arguing about who is right and who is wrong. So make sure when you do have something to discuss with your Pisces that you approach it from a place of love and not judgment, because if you come at them by criticizing them, you're gonna have your hands full, and more than likely the conversation won't end up well and the relationship will begin to break down. Okay, you've been warned. Now, Aries. When you date an Aries, you can count on this. They are at their best in a relationship when they are being helpful or inspiring their partner to be the best person they can be. You can always count on an Aries to be supportive and action-oriented when it comes to helping the person that they love to achieve their goals. As a matter of fact, it was probably an Aries who first came up with the phrase, "You can do it." But warning, Aries perceives the world based on how it directly affects them. So they can be self-centered, self-righteous, and selfish. So make sure their needs are met and you will be in a relationship with an angel. But if their needs are not being met, well, if someone's not an angel, you do the math. You have been warned. Taurus. When you date a Taurus, you can know for sure that they will always do anything and everything in their power to show you how much they love you, especially when it comes to being physically affectionate. They have this unique gift of making you feel desired, important, and appreciated. But warning, when they are hungry, their whole personality changes. They get irritable, they have a crusty attitude, and they could care less about making you feel loved. They become committed to one thing, their stomach. And by the way, this doesn't mean that Tauruses have an obsession with food or have any issue with weight or health. No one is saying that. But it does mean that hunger is not a feeling that they respond well to at all. Also be warned that if you have done something to piss them off, be ready for the grudge of a lifetime, which means no emotion and no feelings of being loved. So to avoid negative consequences, keep your Taurus well fed and don't break any rules that they have established as their deal breakers. If you don't know their deal breakers, then ask. You will be happy you did, because they will for sure be more than happy to tell you, and it will save you from being in Taurus timeout. You have been warned. Okay, Gemini. A Gemini can turn any tragedy into a comedy. So the best thing about being with them is they can always find a way to put a smile on your face, even when all you want to do is cry. Not to mention, if you do fight, they usually forget why it happened in the first place. But warning, when you trigger that negative side of theirs by touching a nerve that brings about any insecurity or fear that they may have, then you will find yourself with a person that goes from 0 to 100 really quick and will refuse to take responsibility for any part that they played in the disconnect. They will blame you and tell you everything that you have done wrong without taking an objective look at themselves. They will speak in riddles and not even know which direction is up. The good news is, once they regain sanity, they come back around to being witty, charming, and fun-loving, just like the Gemini that you fell for. But be warned, if you hit any of their insecurity or fear buttons, there is a period of them being completely unreasonable. So if you find yourself in the space with them that you want to reconnect, don't defend your point. If you do, they interpret that as telling them that they are wrong, and that takes you in the wrong direction for sure. Make sure you tell them that in no way did you mean to hurt their feelings or to behave in a way that made them feel unsure about your feelings for them. If you start to defend yourself or your point, you will be escalating the situation. I'm not saying you have to agree with them all of the time. A Gemini doesn't want to be patronized, but if they are in freak out mode, you want to get directly to how to make them feel better, which only will be done by reassuring them that you do care about them and that you want nothing more than to make sure the two of you stay connected and in a place where you can fully trust each other. So just ask them what it is you can do to regain their trust. You've been warned. Okay, Cancers. Cancers can't hide the way they feel even if they tried. Their emotions are written all over their face. So the best thing about being with a Cancer is the authentic love and emotion that you get from them. You will never have to wonder how they feel. Just look at them and you'll know. But warning, Cancers are very clear that if you're in a relationship with them, it is them and only them that should be the object of your affection. If they see even a remote display of you giving any flirtatious or sexual or what they see to be inappropriate emotional energy to anyone else, get ready for battle. Those crab claws come out and someone is going down, and it won't be them. Jealousy is one of their biggest triggers, and it's not because they don't trust you. And it's not even that they feel inferior to who it is that you're flirting with or looking at. They just feel that when two people are in love, that energy should not be tainted by anyone else's energy. Remember, Cancers are very protective, and they see it as protecting their relationship. Anything or anyone that represents unwanted energy around their relationship is public enemy number one. And they are not going to stand, sit, lay down, or roll over for it. They just aren't having it. So if you know your Cancer is feeling uncomfortable with an energy exchange between you and someone else, just know that things are about to shift. So you want to make sure you have a conversation with your Cancer about what the boundaries are in the relationship, so that way you can come to a mutual conclusion about what works for the both of you. Honor the agreement that you both come to, and everything should flow smoothly from there. You've been warned. Okay, Leo. When you're in a relationship with a Leo, you will always have hope for the future. They are consistently thinking in terms of possibilities, so when you're with them, the future is always bright. They have a loyalty to the people that they love that is strong and passionate and supportive. They will even be there for you if unforeseen circumstances, things that are out of your control, show up in your life and you need some help figuring them out and moving past those things or frustrations or complications that life can bring. But warning, if you are whining and being what they consider to be weak in a scenario where you are experiencing something that you caused or that you brought on yourself, then you get no compassion. As a matter of fact, you get a scornfully arrogant Leo that will give you advice from a pull it together, what is wrong with you perspective, and they won't spend much time on that advice. So you've been warned. Don't run to a Leo with something that you've gotten yourself into looking for a compassionate shoulder to cry on. Now, like I said in my Nobody Does It Better video, Leos will for sure lift your spirits if you're ready to move forward, if you're ready to let go of the negative energy and be your best self no matter what you've been through. But if you're sitting in pity or blaming the world for your problems, you get no compassion. They will forget your problems and forget you and go right back to focusing on their life and their needs and enjoying every minute of it while you bathe in misery. And they will just think, that's on you, boo. Okay, you've been warned. Virgos. The one thing about dating a Virgo is you can for sure trust that they are giving the relationship their all when it comes to being the best partner they can be. Because like I've said about Virgos before, they don't do anything halfway. So if they've established a commitment with you, then you can trust that that commitment is for real. But warning, if you are dating a Virgo, you are going to be with someone who is truly never satisfied. I have nothing but love for you Virgos, but your tendency to always look at how something can be better or improved is fantastic for work or for self-improvement. But for a relationship, it's pretty frustrating for the person that you're with, because this means that the person you're with will find themselves feeling like you are finding fault with them more than you're finding joy with who they are. If you're in a consistent state of improving things, then when do you get to celebrate what is taking place right now, in the present moment, where life really occurs? Virgos thrive when they're figuring something out or they have a task to complete. So if you're dating them, you'll also find yourself looking at them when they're doing something and think to yourself, wow, that could be so much easier. It seems that oftentimes they choose the most difficult path without even knowing it. So if you're going to be with a Virgo and you feel like they're being hard on you or unloving at times, just know that they're loving you in the same way that they love themselves, that they are speaking to you that way because that's how they speak to themselves. And that for them is love, always pushing someone to improve. So consider yourself warned. Libras. The one thing for sure, if you're in a relationship with a Libra, is they will always do their best to be open-minded and take your feelings into consideration if you communicate with them. You can't expect them to read your mind, but if you share your thoughts and your feelings, they will be as open and understanding as possible. But warning, if you're dating a Libra, just know that they are never 100% sold on you. This is because they're never 100% sold on anything, including themselves. This doesn't mean that a Libra can't be committed or that when they love you, their love isn't real. Their love is for sure real. It is just always up for debate, meaning there's always that voice in their head. Did I make the right decision? Is this person right for me? Am I right for them? So make sure not to take the relationship or your Libras for granted. If you're dating a female Libra, don't show up with dirty fingernails or crusty teeth. I know that sounds superficial, but Libra is ruled by Venus, and beauty and hygiene are a huge requirement in the world of Libras. And it can change their wow, I'm in love to wow, I need to get the hell out of here. Same goes for you if you're dating a male Libra. Like I said, Libra is ruled by Venus. And although male Libras won't be wrapped up in details like clean fingernails, and they don't need you to be a supermodel, but they do want you to be the type of person who cares how you present yourself. They want to know that you take care of yourself and that you put effort into how you express yourself to the world. So if you're the type that puts a lot of energy into what you present during the dating phase, but once you get into the relationship, you get loose and start taking the love for granted, just know your Libra is not trying to sail on a dirty, sinking ship. So consider yourself warned. Okay, Scorpios. Well, what we already know is that Scorpios do not take the words I love you lightly. So the best thing about being with a Scorpio is if they say those 3 words to you, you can rest assured that they truly mean them with all of their heart. They say what they mean and they mean what they say, especially when it comes to love. But warning, it is what they don't say that is scary. You can be with a Scorpio and so much can be going on in that head of theirs and they are revealing nothing. If they're not fully invested in the relationship, meaning they aren't quite sure if they trust its chances for long-term success, they can leave a lot of crucial information off the table, and you won't necessarily be able to tell. Scorpios are really good at withholding information and feelings without it being obvious in their behavior. Now, they will always be authentically who they are with no apologies, but that doesn't mean that they will always be forthcoming with how they feel, especially if, in their opinion, you're not ready for the information. There are basically 2 versions of every sign. The version that's being expressed when they are operating from their best self in a loving relationship, where they are choosing to be who they are when acting from a place of love, and then the dark side when they're operating from fear. And be warned that Scorpios are the biggest extreme from one to the other. When they're good, they're incredibly good. But when you have the unfortunate experience of being with a Scorpio that is insecure and not self-aware, then I pray for you, because they can do a lot of damage. So you have been warned. Scorpios have an intense dark side. So from the get-go, be very clear on what they require to feel loved, and by getting this information, it will give you insight into if you're the right person for them. This way, if they're forthcoming with that information, you will know you are interacting with a Scorpio that's in a good place and ready for love. But if when you ask them what they require require in order to truly feel loved, and you get a vague answer, then right there you know to run for your life, because the Scorpio is dangerous. You have been warned. Now, Sagittarius. The great thing about being with a Sagittarius is the element of surprise. It is never a dull moment with them. Either they're planning the next adventure or pushing your buttons to keep it spicy, so you will for sure never be bored in or out of the bedroom. But warning, if you begin to bore them, it is game over, and over quickly. And the sad part is, you may not even know when or what hit you. Sagittarius is a sign that does not sit on its butt waiting for something to happen. If you're the type that's in transition and figuring life out in the moment, not quite sure what you want or not exactly clear on what it is that you want to do, then they will briefly entertain that idea because they are super supportive. But if they see that this transition is going nowhere and all you do is talk with no action, then you may very well find your Sagittarius has moved on and you are the last to know. You're lucky if you get a Sagittarius with Pisces moon or Cancer moon or one of the other overly considerate moon signs that takes the time to sit you down and tell you, you know what, this isn't working. But much of the time, be warned that if a Sagittarius is finding you to be a do-nothing with no direction, then say goodbye now, because trust me, they have checked out and checked into someone else. So keep it exciting and keep it sexy, or you won't keep them. Okay, Capricorns. So with Capricorns, you at least know that no one is more solution oriented. So the best thing about being with them is that if you tell them you have a problem, they are on it. You will have a solution and a plan to carry out that solution before you can even blink. But warning, if you are going to date or be in a relationship with a Capricorn, it is their world, their rules, and their judgments that are running the show. Now, they will make it for sure worth your while, don't get me wrong, if you're willing to let them take the lead. But if you're not, there will be some serious conflict that you have to deal with, and you will for sure have to deal with them taking the time to prove to you why your way is not as good as their way. They are very supportive and loving, so they will at times go along with something that you want them to do, if it's of course like your birthday or you want them to go with you somewhere to support a cause or a friend. But the day-to-day rules of the relationship and pretty much of life, they are writing that rule book. Even if they're going along with something that you have proposed, it will be on their terms. A Capricorn will never ever do something that they don't agree with. So if you're gonna be in a relationship with them, it's best to see the world in a very similar way. This is why they're great with Taurus, Virgo, and Scorpio, because they all agree on most things regarding what's right and what's wrong in the way that they see life. They're also great with Pisces because Pisces is totally down to say, please, someone take the lead on this so I can relax and have fun. But if you're the type that's assertive and bossy and you disagree with Capricorn's perspective, look elsewhere, because the will of Capricorn is unbendable, unbreakable, and unbearable if you have different views. You've been warned. Now, Aquarius. Okay, with Aquarius, you can always rest assured that with them, you won't just have a lover, but you'll also have a good friend. In fact, they'll be your best friend when you're in a relationship with them. For them, it's not just about sex or romance. They can bring the physical and emotional connection, but they have the unique ability to also make you feel as comfortable as you would feel with your closest friend. But warning, Aquarians do a magical dance around what the rest of us call the truth. Now, they aren't like Scorpios where they withhold what is really going on inside. They have a completely different way of being. And Aquarius is in a constant state of verbally creating the reality that they want in each given moment. If you're the type of person that thinks in terms of black and white, it either is or it isn't, then an Aquarius is going to be a nightmare for you. They live in a reality that belongs to them because they can spin their words to get you to see things how they want you to see them. And in addition, they are very smart and clever enough to do it in a way where you can't even directly call them out. So if you're into traditional, conventional, or even just a secure understanding when it comes to being in a relationship and clearly being on the same exact page of what you both feel is right and wrong, and it is something that is established and pretty much never changes, then you're gonna have a hard way to go with Aquarius. They can be an amazing partner if you're open-minded and you love exploration and fun and unpredictable excitement, but this does come with the other side of that coin, which is this warning. Aquarius is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So you've been warned. So there you have it. If the zodiac signs came with a warning label, that's what it would be. And like I said, I would love it if you would tell me in the comment section what you think the warning label on certain signs should be. I really hope you found this information useful. If you did, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.